doing something. I'm ready.
Real journalist.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cash and Show to Football 2024. We're back.
Yes.
My name is Ellie Cash. This is my good friend and co-host.
Atlas Show.
And we're here to talk about everything that's happened over the course of a couple weeks that interests us in the world of football. So, kicking us off right now, we can go to Liverpool, who's had a huge win over Newcastle during the last weekend, 4-2. I want to ask you a bit. That was the other thing I wanted to ask you a bit. Was there sort of potentially title push you're looking for? But yeah, how do you just make? What are you just making of Liverpool at this current moment? And
so obviously after the Newcastle win, it was a very like back and forth game. You know what I mean? Classic Premier League match, Newcastle versus Liverpool. You can't really get too much better than that, right? There's been a lot of stick that a lot of people that watch the Premier League know with the Liverpool attack. People say that only Salah, you might be scoring or whatnot. You know what I mean?
You're scoring too late, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe goals not coming from other places like Nunez, Lucho, and Gakpo and whatnot. Whenever Jota comes off, he always scores, right?
Yep.
Diaz looked very good yesterday or on the Newcastle game. Can't really. I mean, he's back. You know what I mean? Like, he obviously had the stuff with his family, which is very depressing. Thankfully, he's back to his normal self. You know what I mean? Dribbling, assisting, and whatnot.
I don't really think anyone had any doubts about his mentality or anything like that. Because he pushed through that, and he scored for like Colombia right after, which was crazy.
Yeah, like goals. Yeah. But to go with the whole title push, right? The main thing with this, like, I think Liverpool's very cheap. We know FSG. You know what I mean? This transfer window, right? This winter one, right? I think it is so important that we buy a center back, that we at least buy some players, even maybe like an attacker or something like that, right?
What about a left back? Because that was the other thing I wanted to ask you about. Because you were linked to Anthony Robinson the other day. I think he would be fantastic,
he would be great,
especially in the Klopp system. I think he's been having a great season for Fulham. So yeah, would you first of all, would you take him? And really, if you had to sign, because FSG really aren't gonna, if they're gonna spend money at all, they're really not gonna spend that much.
They might kind of on one player.
Maybe on one player,
yeah.
And that's probably gonna be like 20-30 million pounds.
Yeah.
So would you take a center back, a left back? What are you thinking?
I think I'll take a center back actually right now.
Okay.
Only because right now they're trying to activate the Nat Phillips loan back, right? Okay. And we've seen Nat Phillips in the Premier League, back in 2020. He's not a great center back, you know what I mean? He's average, you know what I mean, at best, right? Right back would be great. Anthony Robinson would be great because then we could move Trent into midfield. Yeah. He's brilliant in midfield, you know what I mean? But my main thing with this transfer window is, right, like, we're top of the league right now.
Yep.
It's in our hands, right? City is falling back, right? They're not as strong. Next year they might be. You know what I mean? This next summer, Arsenal might cash out and buy more players, right? So right now it's in Liverpool's hands to drop it. You know what I mean? So I think that this transfer window, like, FSG has to strengthen the squad. If we can win the Premier League, right? We can win Europa League, right? We can win the FA Cup too. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, right? We have to understand that this transfer window is so huge for Liverpool, right? There's been a lot of talks with Mbappe over the summer, right? Coming off on a free. And the only way that I could really see Mbappe because there's been a lot of talks in the news, right, with Liverpool, Mbappe, Real Madrid, Mbappe, right?
Years, yeah.
Yeah. Only way. But I don't want it to be another It's just going to be another Bellingham. You know what I mean? It's just
you're going to get
Bellingham.
the fans hype, but and then Klopp's going to have to come out being like, we're not getting him. Come on.
Regardless, the only way that I see Mbappe coming to Real Madrid, right, is if Madrid's not at the table, right?
Coming to Liverpool.
Yeah. And if Salah is sold for 200 mil.
Yeah, you got to sell Salah. You got to cash out on Salah,
Yeah.
get him off, because he's on really good wages again, because he signed that new deal to put him on, what was it, like $300K, something like that? I know he's your top.
Crazy, yeah.
I know he's one of your best paid player now. So yeah, first of all, would you think in any case, because like you said before, he might sign a new deal at this point.
So yeah, so Salah, right now, might sign a year or so deal, right? Which every Liverpool fan would enjoy and love. You know what I mean?
I don't think anyone would be opposed to it.
I don't think everyone would love that, right? I think at this point, even like United fans would rather have Salah than Mbappe.
I think we're just afraid. We know what Salah does.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and another big thing with Mbappe makes 3 times the amount that Salah makes, right? So FSG won't pay that.
No.
You know what I mean? They won't
Definitely.
pay those wages, right? So like it's a kind of up and down. I would take, if we sell Salah, I would love to have Mbappe.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I don't want to go for Jared Bowen then at that point. Give me Mbappe.
Even though he'd be great.
He'd be dope.
He'd be
dope.
great.
Yeah. Me personally, if, like I almost think that if we got like Jared Bowen and like Isaac, that would be fire.
You need another striker though.
So why are we getting Mbappe?
Because Mbappe doesn't.
Why would we give
Mbappe
up?
can play strike. I think he really prefers to play off the right though. If anything.
Yeah.
I don't really, because whenever he tried to be forced in the center for when Neymar and Messi were when Messi was there, and Neymar, but I think that's kind of what pissed him off,
Right.
because he was just the one that was kind of getting, not the short end, but he was the one that was going to be sacrificed in any position, because you're really not going to play Messi up
In
front
the middle, yeah.
at this point. Because it's
If
just,
his career.
yeah,
now.
exactly. Because he's just not there. He's not that kind of player anymore.
And then neither is Neymar. Neymar just doesn't even have that like strength
No,
as a striker.
no, he has to play on the wing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he would be. I mean, it'd be a like for like replacement with
Mhm.
Salah. I think that in that way it'd be great. But I just never see him working in a Klopp system because of his inability to, correct his attitude to press.
Yes, exactly.
Because he's just never been that type of player to do that. He's always been the luxury sort of player. Because
He cannot be lazy, basically.
Yeah.
He can't be lazy.
everyone has to work in Klopp's system.
Because I feel like if you're lazy, then he just won't play on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. And
He
then
just won't play
he's
on.
not going to take that.
Right.
He has to be the guy.
Mhm.
He's one of those players that has to be the guy in any team. And I mean, in Real Madrid, that's going to be the other side of it interesting with Madrid, because this might be Ancelotti's last year. He's out of contract in the summer with Madrid. That's one thing I would be intrigued about at United. If he
What,
doesn't
you get Angelotti?
I would say if it doesn't work out with Ten Hag, then it doesn't work out with him. At this point,
At this point,
let
let him go at that.
We'll talk about United in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Ancelotti goes in the summer and Mbappe comes in, that's the other thing. You need someone to bring him in and for all that to work, because Bellingham just came in and he's the guy.
Right.
He's the guy now. I feel like the Spy Kids movie. He's the guy.
Yeah, the guy.
But
the guy.
yeah, but so I just feel like there's someone who needs to be able to handle those egos.
Yeah.
And is able to handle.
Angelotti.
He's probably the guy.
Yeah,
he's
he's
probably
the guy.
He is the guy.
He's the guy. You know what I mean? Like,
But yeah, so anything else with Liverpool? Or are you
really just there was a weird transfer that I saw, right? And it was Curtis Jones. Or Arsenal's been speaking to Curtis Jones.
Yeah,
Apparently, right?
it's really odd.
Kind of weird, right? I don't want to sell Curtis Jones personally, right?
I don't really see him leaving.
Me neither.
Because why would he leave? He's a homegrown player.
Yeah, like I can't see it.
and he's in the best team in the league at this point.
Yeah,
At this point.
Yeah.
I
couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it.
I don't really see that.
I think he fits into the Liverpool side too much right now for him to try to go to another side and fight for his position when he's already he's damn near established. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
When it's Soboslai, Curtis Jones, and Endo,
Yeah.
right? You can really take any other midfielder, you can throw them in there, right? Whatever, right? Because that's just how the Liverpool thing is working right now, right? I don't know if throwing him into Jorginho, Havertz, or Odegaard.
There's already a lot going
You know what I
on
mean?
with
This-
Arsenal's midfield.
Yeah. you know what I
Aside
mean?
from Rice, who's been the most
Rice,
consistent.
You know what I mean?
Aside from Rice, who's been the rock in Arsenal's
Yeah.
midfield, there really isn't anyone else who's been the most consistent in that mid. Because you have
Party,
Party's
yeah.
coming in and
Right,
out.
right.
Havertz has been, he's been
And Party's
better now.
brilliant, yeah.
Havertz has been better now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was him, and then you have Jorginho, who's not really one of their main players anymore. So yeah, he's never really been their main
Never
player. Let's
been.
be fucking real. But yeah, so talking about that sort of like squad analysis, sort of go into that. But do you see this being a title challenging
yeah.
side for Liverpool?
As long as we go out and we buy some type of defender.
Some type of defender, yeah.
Some type of defender. You know what I mean? At least, right?
Because how long is Tsimikas and Robertson still out for?
Good question. I don't think Robertson. Last time I checked,
Robertson's been out for a while already.
But I'm pretty sure he's going to come back within the next few months.
Okay,
which
and
we don't have time to wait. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And is Tsimikas' thing?
I'm not even sure how long he's gone for.
Okay, yeah. So that's kind of crude. And then because Gomez. He wasn't at fault for the goals at all for against Newcastle, but he's definitely not a left back. He's not really a fullback in general.
Me with Joe Gomez, right? He's very versatile, right? He's not like
he's a utility guy. In the defense,
you know what I mean,
which is nice.
Yeah, which is very nice. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like the biggest necessarily fan of Joe Gomez, right? I don't think he's like the end-all be-all feature of Liverpool, right? He is a quite young player. He's only like 26, 25 or something like that, right? So
he's a good guy to have just in your squad.
He's a good guy, yeah, right. Like as a person to come in, I don't want to start Joe Gomez every week. That's not going to win us a league.
No,
you know what I mean. So I think that if we are going to win the league, we have to go by.
You have to go by a fullback, and I don't think we talked about it yet, but Anthony Robinson, who you were linked to, that would be a great get. At left back if they're not, maybe at the end of towards the end of the window, if they're not progressing health wise, your left back set is, they're not progressing it where you would want them to be, then a cool 20-30 mil to Fulham would probably get you there. And
I'll let that happen.
That'd be great. I mean, if you could also you don't really need that that would be a good boost though, if you could just get the right back. I've been saying this for so long. You need a right back.
And then just put Trent into midfield.
Yes, he's going to need to work maybe on his tackling a bit in the midfield. But, I mean, I think he'd be great.
I think he'd be great.
He'd
be insane.
I cannot see why you guys don't do that.
So what do you have about United?
So, the big header I have on United is we are consistently inconsistent.
Yes.
Let's just look at our last couple results because literally it's loss, win, loss, win. We just don't have the mentality to stay consistent and get goals. I mean, it's just we only get goals when we absolutely need to at this point.
Right.
And it's just this team is so frustrating. Hold on, let me just go to the Premier League. Yeah. So after we draw 0-0, well, let's just go before that. We win starting in December 6th, we win 2-1 at Chelsea. We then lose 3-0 to Bournemouth at home. We then go to Anfield and draw 0-0, which everyone said, oh, this is we're going to start kicking off from here. Lose 2-0 to West Ham away. Win 3-2 to Aston Villa at Old Trafford, and then go and lose 2-1 to Nottingham Forest on December 30th. So it's just we have, again, I've been saying this from the start, our injuries, we've never had a consistent bet. We played like 10 different center back pairings this window, this season, but we just cannot stay consistent. And a lot of it comes down, I have to say, to Eric Ten Hag, because that loss to Nottingham Forest, crucially, was because he pulled out Scott McTominay and put in Kobe Manu. And he said in the press conference afterwards, it's because we needed the energy. Kobe Manu's 18. Mm-hmm. I get that he's been playing a lot of games lately. You don't think he has the energy to go until the end. And Scott McTominay, both of it, you can't put all of it down to him for both goals. Yeah. But the big position that he should have been in was where the goals came from. They literally came from that exact spot near to the 14. Inside, exactly, that area. So it was just so frustrating seeing that, because Scott McTominay has been the crux of so many of our failures this season, quite frankly. Not just like the results, but also just the way our midfield can't progress the ball forward. So it's just so frustrating seeing that. And we're going to get we got the Ineos thing finally over the line, whatever. They've come in, they're starting to have talks with Ten Hag. That's great. I do think that's something that is going to be, because they're actually competent in multiple areas of sport, let alone football. They've done F1, a lot of it, cycling. I don't know how that I think it's just management for the most part.
What do you mean F1? Like racing?
Racing.
What do you mean?
They're I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much. just because that kind of doesn't interest me that much. But they're also Jim Radcliffe is also one of the owners. I think key owner, one of the owners of Nice, and they're doing well. It's Liga. It gives me hope. I know Arsenal says it's the hope that kills you, but we're not Arsenal. So, right. But I think there's a lot of
dreams. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'll always have hope. I don't get the.
You guys will be back eventually.
We'll be back eventually. I think it's just
after you guys sell the team.
Yeah, after
you guys sell the team.
I think a lot of the guys in this team need to go. I think, yeah, definitely.
No, like the owner needs to sell the whole team.
Well, that
that part.
Well, that part too. The Glazers hopefully will go. I think they're trying to stay.
Me personally, bro, I think it starts from the top to the bottom.
It definitely does.
Because a football club, a Premier League football club, is a business essentially, right? It's a franchise.
That's how they've been running it for the last 2 decades, essentially.
Well, I mean, all Premier League clubs are essentially businesses.
Yeah, but they shouldn't be run like that.
They shouldn't be ran like we care more about business before we care about football. Football should always be.
They've been caring about taking dividends
money
out of the club, for the last, because they've taken over £1 billion of dividends out of the club over the past decade and change. But I think it comes down to, number one, Ten Hag hasn't had the players he would have needed to perform this year.
Right.
He overperformed last year with players, a lot of them that weren't performing for him. I think if he had that defense, like that spine, Varane, Casemiro, Bruno, and then now Højlund would be great. I think that alone could almost get us top 4.
Right.
I think that
can.
The wingers were always going. I think we needed a winger regardless of
that. You guys need a winger now.
Yeah, I think we're looking at one, whatever.
Because who plays on the right? Garnacho?
No. Garnacho mostly plays on the left.
Okay, so
and Rashford. We've been trying to fit Garnacho and Rashford in the same team, but it really doesn't work because both of them need to play off the left.
Yeah.
Garnacho did a job against Forest on the right.
Garnacho always performs though.
Yeah, he always just makes stuff happen.
He's probably one of your best players.
Yeah, we just need to keep those
get rid of
those young players. Yeah, Anthony needs to go.
Get rid of Anthony. He sucks.
I think we need to cut our losses with him. I don't know why we were so adamant on getting him. And I don't know if it was just Ten Hag needed someone he was familiar with, but I don't know.
So what's the problem with Anthony then?
I mean, he's a one-trick pony. He's good
cuts in on the left,
and he's decent at dribbling. He can beat a guy every once in a while.
Yeah.
But he's not great at. I haven't seen him play a cross on his weak foot on his right at all.
So he doesn't.
Not
really,
that I can remember.
Not very good at assisting.
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, none of our wingers have really gotten that many goal contributions this season. Garnacho has like 5 goals in the league, I think.
That's great.
And that's great for us.
That's great.
Højlund has, again, those young
Højlund
players.
Is going to come though.
Those young players in the squad, like Kobe Mainu.
He's gonna come.
Garnacho and Højlund are the main 3 at the moment. Then you have this young guy who's started against West Ham because we needed him. I forgot his last name. But he seemed decent against West Ham. He's only 19, making his Premier League debut. But yeah, we just need.
You have Bruno, you have Varane. You know what I mean? But Varane has to actually play, right? Yeah. I don't know why he wasn't playing earlier in the season.
It was just because Maguire was better. It was odd.
Better.
He did play well for that month and some change, and then he got injured. But yeah, we're gonna get a lot of players back in January. So hopefully he does better.
Good.
That's the thing, is we need to actually kick on and actually start performing, or else Ten Hag will get sacked. That's the thing. If he can't sort this out after players come back, it's done for him.
So do you have any other points on United?
I think the only other thing is that United fans really can't expect anything for the rest of the season.
Right.
We just need to kind of keep. We just need to. The only thing we can hope for is this team starts to gel a bit.
Right.
It starts to look a bit better. And if not, then it's really not the end of the world because, Ten Hag will get sacked and hopefully we'll have some better management in the future because Ineos is going to have more control as the season goes on, start analyzing what's wrong, and hopefully, bring in some better players in the summer. But we really just can't expect anything because we've seen this team's true colors. They're not anything to... we only have a few decent players at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my 2 bits on United.
Can I ask you a question about the table, right?
Okay.
I understand that so basically, right, it kind of goes like the 3 teams that got promoted last year, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're in the relegation zone, right?
Yep.
But literally above them is Everton.
Yep.
Everton had a 10-point reduction.
And they're still fighting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think well, Sean Dyche is an expert. He's one of those coaches that are an expert in not getting relegated.
Mm-hmm.
Like Roy Hodgson is an expert in finishing mid-table. Same with Sam Allardyce. I think Sam Allardyce did get relegated a couple times.
They're sitting on 16 points, right? So they would have 26.
They would have 26.
Making them go to 12th place, essentially, right? So technically, they're not actually. I mean, they're not having a great season. They're not better than United. They're not better than.
No.
You know what I mean? United is an 8th.
I think with Sam Allardyce, there's only so far you can go with that type of football.
Right.
But for right now, he is the guy to help Everton because no manager wants to take over Everton. I mean, they could unless you want like that type of pressure.
Yeah.
To beat that, because Sam Allardyce for Sean Dyche, it's really it's a win.
Yeah.
It's a win-win situation. If you get sacked, then it really isn't that much on you, and you get relegated because you had a 10-point deduction from FFP.
Right.
It's really not on you because you weren't at the club during that time, at least partially.
Yeah.
But and if you survive, then you're the hero at that point.
You stay. Yeah.
Which I think that's going to happen.
I think that's going to happen. I think they're going to stay.
Because the guys below them, Luton has pulled out some great results, but
Luton sucks.
they're not that strong enough.
Yeah.
Same with Burnley. I mean, Burnley are really ambitious in how they try and play,
Right.
but that's not the type of approach
That the Premier League needs.
should take. You need to be pragmatic in that situation.
Yeah.
And I respect what company's trying to do with them, but it's just not what needs to happen in order to because that team is just too inexperienced in the Prem at the end of the day. And Sheffield United just suck.
Yeah.
Sheffield, it's sorry to say, but
so another thing, Newcastle, right?
Okay.
They are very up and down right now, right?
They have a ton of injuries.
Yeah, they have a lot of people feel bad for that. You know what I mean? Like that was a big part that I was going to address, right? We expect them to fight for top 4 this season, right? It's not necessarily gone, right? But with Tottenham, West Ham, Brighton, even United, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Chelsea right behind them. You know what I mean? Chelsea is in a different kind of world almost, but it's kind of weird how Chelsea's 10th, Newcastle's only is 9th, right?
Yeah.
So, right, we know they're in a sense that they never actually play the same team every week, right? Because of injuries, right?
Yep.
Holes and whatnot. What do you think is going to happen to them this season? Do you think they're actually going to be able to contend for the top 4? Because I don't know when their injured players are going to come back, right? Trippier didn't play.
Yep.
I think against Liverpool.
Me personally, I think top 4 for them is done.
Yeah.
I think top 6 is definitely gettable. I think how we see it right now, the top 4 is probably going to stay how it is. Liverpool.
More than likely,
it's going to be Liverpool. I mean, City could bounce back. That everyone's kind of downing City right now, but they really could get Rodri, De Bruyne, everyone back together at the same time. And because it was the same thing last season, is that they had a gap, maybe not at this. Well, I forgot exactly where we were.
they had like a stint, yeah.
Yeah, but there was a pretty significant gap between that. Wasn't like there like a 9-point gap at some point, or like a 12
Liverpool were never that good.
No, I mean with Arsenal, because Arsenal
maybe
because they were
because didn't Arsenal sell a little bit last year?
Yeah, they
Right?
sold
Yeah.
a lot just over the course of
the season,
the rest of the
draws,
season. They they just dropped that many points. So City could do that, but regardless, I think it's going to stay how it is. It's going to be some order between Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City in the top 3 spots. And I think Villa are just very, and they could win the title if
Villa
all 3 of
could
them
win this
slip.
title,
That's how crazy this is right now.
Because we're halfway through the season. You know what I mean? So,
and I mean, Spurs are only 1 point behind them, but I don't think they're at the point in their squad to make top 4 just out of these points.
Hey, I don't know if
for me personally.
I don't know if you noticed, but Man City have played 1 less game than Villa and Liverpool.
They have a game in hand, yeah.
So essentially, right, they could go 2 points behind.
What is that game in hand? Do we know?
What, the next game?
I don't know if it's their next game, but regardless, it doesn't matter. But
what topics do you have?
I want to talk. So this happened a couple weeks ago, but they're trying to get the Super League back.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, this isn't. I don't think this is ever going to end because the two big clubs that are interested in it are Real Madrid and Barcelona, which it's just like I forgot who called it a zombie league, but someone called it a zombie league because it's really just going to be Real Madrid, Barcelona, and so many Premier League teams and Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich. So many big teams have just said no.
Right.
Like, we're not doing this because we make enough money as it is.
And our fans don't support it.
Yeah, and there's going to be so much outrage behind it. It's just not going to be worth it at the end of the day.
Players don't want to play more games.
Yeah, exactly.
Why? We have
and then
the
you're going to
Champions
immediately get binned from Europa. Yeah. And what if it just doesn't work? Then it's a huge loss. If you're banned from your UEFA, rather, not Europa, and Super League doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's going to be a huge loss because the Champions League for those later stages they
make money.
You make a lot of money from getting the Champions League.
It doesn't matter what team you are.
That's one of the main draws for getting in top four is the revenue bump for all those teams. So I don't think it's ever going to. It could happen, but Real Madrid and Barcelona could just be like, whatever, we're still doing it with. Didn't PSG said they were down for it? I forgot the other teams, but they could still do it. I'd be happy. Just say, see ya. Mm-hmm. Let us win a couple, maybe not United, but someone else win the Champions League every couple
other
years.
Yeah, because they're not in it. Because Real Madrid's not in it anymore.
After City get that FFP,
they need that Champions League taken away.
They
need that thing taken away.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. It's going to be glorious when that happens.
That would be better than Man United winning the league itself, I think.
No, not for me. I wouldn't take City losing all their stuff over United winning.
City losing all their stuff.
It's going to be so fun to
United
watch.
Winning one Premier League.
Blue moon.
Are you serious?
I would love to see City. Listen, I would love, but I don't
either City lose. Okay, so this is the trade-off, right? City lose all their success through the FFP,
relevant success. Yeah.
But and then United get to win one Premier League, right?
We get it back because of Jose.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah, you get it back.
Yeah.
Or no? What if you just win the next? Premier League? What if you just win the next Premier League?
It wouldn't matter because we didn't win it at the time. So I'm not going to take it like, oh, we won the Premier League.
No. What if you win the next Premier League though?
So we went off
the sacrifice.
Okay. I didn't think. I thought you just thought it was.
No, because then Liverpool would have like 3 of them. I would be. I would actually be excited. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but you're saying so. City lose all that, and then the next following year, United win. Or what's the other? So it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. No, like that.
Well, I would love it. Yeah, I would just love that. I want United to win the league almost more than anything at the moment.
No, which one would be better though?
What? Oh, United win the league. Okay.
Which one would be better though?
I just still want to see United. I think it's going to happen regardless. I think
it's going to happen. United's going to win the league again.
Well, I think United are going to win the league again. I think both are happening regardless. Yeah. United will get to a place because we have partial competent ownership, but I think the money is already going to be there for us. We've just been so incompetent at spending and just how we manage our facilities.
I mean, it's kind of in the.
But I think the City FFP, whatever. I don't know if they'll get relegated, but I think their financials are going to get destroyed. Yeah. I think their players are going to have to probably pay off a ton. Maybe they might get, I don't know, something crazy like billions of pounds fees or whatever for just
no more Saudi Arabia. The costume, Man City, that'd be insane.
Sheikh, what is his face?
Yeah,
whatever. But yeah,
that'd be insane. What about the MLS in their scheme?
So speaking of money corruption,
speaking
of corruption. The MLS tried to have their teams leave the U.S. Open Cup, which is essentially kind of the FA Cup in America, essentially because we have the USL. Any sort of, and it's the longest standing U.S. competition in soccer in this country. Mm-hmm. That was kind of much, but it was kind of a jumbled mess. But you get the point. It's our longest standing competition in U.S. soccer. And they want to have all MLS teams leave it and have the MLS Next teams, which is their youth sort of comp,
go to the.
which is that league is kind of I have mixed
It's
feelings about
ass.
that. I have mixed feelings about that league too. Just have a youth academy.
Yeah.
Why do you have to make this whole other league? But it comes down to the fact that they want their own teams to play in their own competitions for them to make revenue,
Yeah.
so they can have more available.
So that it's
So they can have this Leagues Cup thing.
Yeah.
It's
like a
as soon
Super
as
League.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I saw that, anyway, I was like, why do we need?
Yeah.
They already have the CONCACAF Champions League, which on the face value, I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool. Yeah.
But then they started having this Leagues Cup, and I'm like, okay.
How would you feel if they actually added the North and South American teams to the Champions League?
I would like that.
I would actually like that.
If they had a legit Champions League,
yeah.
that'd be great. But now that they're starting to do these other leagues, it's so clear that they're just trying
It's just
to make
money.
their teams in the more latter stages of those competitions to get more revenue, TV revenue, and they run the risk of getting beat and humiliated by a USL team, like case in point, our team Detroit City FC last season. Would it be last season or season before? Regardless, they beat out freaking. Why am I blanking on this team's name? Columbus Crew. We beat out Columbus Crew, which is crazy because it was kind of funny because our now former coach used to manage. Why am I'm blanking tonight. What was that the U.S. striker's name that had like the weird gap in his hair? No, he played it. He's always played in the U.S. Zardes, yeah.
Zardes?
He used to manage Zardes. It's kind of funny.
Zardes sucks.
He does suck.
He sucks.
He's always been mid.
But yeah, no. When it comes to MLS teams versus teams like Flamengo and the Brazilian teams, I think they're trying for the latter stages, like you were saying, right? They want to reach that stage, right?
And that's why they're only allowing Liga MX teams to play in the Champions League, CONCACAF Champions League.
Which is
they're just trying to rig it. But I'm a little less pissed off about this because it happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But for me now, I'm not supporting MLS anymore because it's so clear that they do not care at all about making U.S. soccer better.
Yeah, they don't.
Really, they only care about making their league better. Which sure, they have U.S. players come through. That's only because they're talented enough. At that point, that's the only reason. If they care, they wouldn't care about and sure, they have this MLS Next thing, but that's only for promotion. That's only for promotion. If they cared about their youth academy, they would just have them play in the MLS.
Real good Americans don't want to play in the MLS.
No, that's why all of our best players play in Europe.
Yeah,
and for some reason we still choose.
There's
MLS
no
players.
desire to play in MLS unless you're retiring.
If you see this U.S. men's national team now, nearly every single one that go in there are from Europe now or play in Europe. Because it's what are you going to have in there? When I feel like that Miles Robinson, he was decent, but there were so many. It was so clear that those players were not on the level of the player, and also I don't want to talk about individuals anymore. But it's just so clear that they're just not on the level. And I kind of feel for them because I get it that you want to play in the USA because you want to be close to your family. But at that point with your career, you need to play abroad.
Right. At that point, yeah.
A
lot of crazy stuff that's happening with that.
But yeah, I don't really have anything else. Do you have any?
So me and Cash will be going to the next DCFC game. We'll start vlogging, bring you guys some more local homegrown content. Really just trying to really show you guys, just like what we be doing, just like vlogs. Expect that soon. That's really the only other thing that I really got to say. More uploads this year, 2024, but probably going to be more consistent with it. And really, that's about it. I mean, you got anything else?
No, that's everything I had. So,
well, this is the show.
LA Cash, thank you for watching. Peace.
Peace.